Let's take a look at violent crime in America and see if what Donald Trump and the Republicans are saying about crime today is actually true. I'm going to break down the data on violent crime, perceptions about violent crime in America, and lastly, migrant crime. So here's the big question. Is violent crime now getting worse? Nope, it's not getting worse. In fact, over the last 30 years, we've seen violent crime precipitously plummet in multiple different indicators. Overall violent crime, victimization, and also property crime. Regardless of the data source, you can see violent crime in this country since the 90s has just gone off a cliff. And I know, I can hear you through the screen. You're saying, this only goes till 2022. What about today? Crime can't be better today. It can, and it is. It's historically better, and I'm going to break down the numbers for you. According to the FBI data, which is the data we use to measure crime in this country, let's just, it's not a conspiracy, 15.2% drop in violent crime overall. This is from a report in June of 2024. Murder is down 26.4%. Rape is down 25.7%. Robbery is down 17.8%. And aggravated assault is down by 12.5%. And I know the next argument is going to be, well, look at the cities. So let's look at the cities. And it's a mixed bag. Some cities look terrible. San Francisco looks terrible. LA looks terrible. Houston looks terrible. But then there's cities that look great. Like New York City and Chicago, two places that you hear all the time of these war zones, their crime is going down. New York's crime rate is lower than the average crime rate in the country. And this is one of the biggest problems we face in this country, is the perception of crime in America, because really the perception is quite different from the reality. The data shows you that New York City and Chicago are not these war zones where crime is just going through the roof. Their crime is reducing, and some of their numbers are better than average. You have to look at who's telling you these stories and why do they want to tell you those stories. For example, when this report came out from the FBI, Fox didn't even air it, and in fact, they ran 4.5 hours of airtime that day devoted to the fact that violent crime is increasing, even though the report came out that day that is dramatically decreasing. And look, there is concern in both parties. It's not completely to blame on right-wing media, but if you look at the party affiliation and concern about crime, Republicans are way more concerned about it than Democrats are. And it's not because Democrats love crime and just want to go around stabbing each other, it's because of the media diet that they're being fed. And even more proof that this is happening is the fact that Americans tend to believe that crime is up across the country, but locally they don't feel that way. Around their house, they don't feel like they're in severe danger by comparison to the past, but they feel like the rest of the country is falling apart. It's because what they hear on the news is a story. What they live day to day is what they actually experience, and the numbers on what they experience locally are very different from what they hear is going on in the rest of the country. And that leads me to the next talking point that Trump and Republicans and Fox News really like to push, which is migrant crime. But is migrant crime really happening? I mean, of course, migrants commit crimes, but are they committing crimes at a rate that is correlative to how quickly they're coming into the country? Do they commit crimes more often than U.S. natural-born citizens? These are important questions. Let's find the answers. So this is the rate of migrant encounters, and you can see it really spikes when we had the big caravan and the crisis at the border. This is when there's a ton of people coming into this country, the same people they're accusing of this crime wave that seems to so far not exist. So you would think that if there's this big jump in people coming in, we'd see a big jump in crime at the exact same time. Here is the homicide rate across 32 major cities in this country, and right there is where the migrant spike occurred. So you would think you would see a spike in homicides if there was a bunch of violent crime going on because of more migrants being here, committing migrant crime. But we don't see that. In fact, a ton of research has been done over the years, including this research behind me, that has determined that migrants commit crimes at a dramatically lower level compared to U.S. natural-born citizens. In fact, look at some of this. Stanford University determined immigrants are 60% less likely to be incarcerated than U.S.-born people, and there was a study that showed that undocumented immigrants were 37.1% less likely to be convicted of a crime. So we're going to return to where we started, which is the 30-year trend. And the 30-year trend is just true. There is a precipitous drop in this country in crime over the last 30 years, and it's continuing now with the last data from just 3 months ago saying that we are seeing a historic drop in crime. And these little teeny blips you're seeing here going up, that's the pandemic. And since then, it's dramatically dropped down to pre-pandemic levels. So we are just in a situation where the data does not bear the argument that crime is up in this country. The truth is that people like Donald Trump and Fox News have a vested interest in convincing you that crime is going up because it will make you vote for the person they want to put into power because they want to make you feel unsafe. But the truth of the matter is, the data shows you are safer today than you were 5 years ago, than you were 5 years before that, and so on and so on and so on. It is just safer to be in America today pretty much than ever.